Hey y'all, welcome to Restless Chipotle Kitchen. If you love Southern food, I have got a Southern classic for you. It's smothered chicken, but done in a slow cooker. There's almost no hands-on time, there's almost no prep time, and in 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on how you do it, you have got the most tender, juicy, delicious smothered chicken of your life. All right, let's find out how. Like I said, this year has been totally chaotic, and when I have a chaotic year like this, I like to use my slow cooker a lot. This smothered chicken, I have a recipe for a skillet version on the blog, but honestly, the slow cooker version is tender, buttery, fall apart, delicious with a creamy sauce, and there's almost no hands-on time to it. So I definitely try this recipe. And to add to the chaos, I already started this video, or thought I did, and went to let the dog out, and apparently, well, then I came back and was working on the video some more, and I got part of the way through when I realized that the video was not actually recording. So we're starting over, and let's do this. So you're going to need about 2.5 pounds of chicken breast, 1 3/4 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, somewhere in there. It just kind of depends on how much meat y'all eat, or what people's appetites are. This is it's a pretty filling comfort food meal. So, you know, I always do 2.5 pounds, and that's for 6 to 8 of us, just depending who's eating that night. And you're going to need some seasoned salt. This is homemade, and I will put the link below. It's on the blog. But I like seasoned salt, especially my homemade one, because it's smoky, it's a little spicy, it's a little garlicky, it brings a lot of flavor. You can use just salt and pepper to taste, okay? If you don't want the seasoned salt, you don't have to use it. You're going to need cream of chicken soup, and you're going to need cream of mushroom soup, only this isn't cream of mushroom, it's cream of celery, because I didn't have cream of mushroom, but you can use those interchangeably, don't worry about that. You're going to want some onion soup mix, some chicken stock, some button mushrooms, and you're going to want those sliced. And one of the things that you can do, instead of slicing them, if you want to just pull the stems out and put them in there like that, I like to do that sometimes, because if you have mushroom haters in the crowd, it makes it a lot easier for them to pick them out. So, you know, that's that. And generally I have onion, but I didn't have any fresh onion. I've been traveling, and when I went to look at where my potatoes and onions were, we don't even want to talk about what that looked like. So instead of fresh onion, today I'm going to use a handful of dried minced onion, but definitely use the fresh if you've got it. The way we're going to start is get everything out of the way as much as we can. And I like to always spray the inside of the slow cooker with a no-stick cooking spray before I start. It just makes for easier cleanup, even with a creamy, saucy dish like this one. What you're going to do once you get that sprayed is make yourself some room. You're going to put the chicken in the slow cooker on the bottom. Just lay it in there so that it fits. It can overlap just a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. And sometimes, if you do these front ways and back ways, you can fit more in. All right, but it's going to be shredded anyway, so it's not going to matter. All right, chicken's in there. And then, as you can see, when I did the other video, which wasn't being recorded, I had already started to season it. But hang on just a minute, let me wash my hands, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm just going to season this with some of my seasoning salt, kind of generously. I'd say maybe 2.5 teaspoons. The general rule of thumb is about 1 teaspoon per pound. So unless you're on salt-free or low-salt diet, or you just don't like salt, that's probably a good place to start. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to set it actually in my multi-cooker crock pot right now. And I'm going to finish slicing these mushrooms up because I don't want anybody picking them out. You can slice these thick or thin. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of how you like it. I would say thicker is probably better since this is being slow cooked. They won't turn to mush. So I guess I slice them about like that. Move that aside, and I'm going to need my bowl. And in my bowl, I'm going to mix the soups with the onion soup mix just until they're well mixed and smooth. Cream of celery, and cream of chicken. I love these pop-off tops on the soups. It makes things so much easier than trying to find a can opener when you're in a hurry. Just pop it right off there. I'm going to mix this up real good, the onion soup mix. I'll just put that right in there. And stir that around. And then I'm going to very carefully pour the chicken stock in there. And I'm going to stir that carefully. I looked for my whisk and I couldn't find it, so I'm using a spoon, but a whisk works better. It just seems to mix it better, I guess. All right, we'll set that aside. Bring our chicken back over. And then just spoon the sauce over the chicken. And there'll be enough that it'll cover it right up. Kind of even it out. Then I'm going to top that with my onions. And this is where I would use the fresh onions, but I'm using the minced onion, dried minced onion, just for a little extra onion flavor. You could actually leave onions out. If you found that you didn't have any, you could just leave them right out. It wouldn't hurt. And then I'm just going to top all of that with the mushrooms. Right on top. And believe it or not, that's it. It takes maybe 3 minutes to put this together if you're not trying to do a video at the same time. Takes just about 3 minutes to put this together. You can get the you can get the mushrooms pre-sliced at the store. You could actually use the diced onions from the produce department and just put those on there instead of slicing your own. Seriously, this is super easy and fast. The other thing that you can do is you can bring it to this point and then cover it and put it in the fridge overnight. Like maybe while you're cleaning the kitchen after dinner or when you're getting dinner, throw this together, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then the next morning you can start it with no prep time whatsoever. So, y'all are not going to believe how amazing this is. Once you start smelling it, which obviously you're not going to be able to with this, but so good. I can't wait for you to see how it turns out. So we're going to put the cover on. And then I'm going to plug in my slow cooker, which hasn't been plugged in yet. And then set it to low. And sometimes it's done in 4 hours, sometimes it takes 6. It kind of depends on the size of the chicken breast, how dense it is, and some other things like that. I would say plan on at least 6 hours. Check it. If you're in a hurry, check it at 4. It won't hurt it to go to 8. And it will stay warm as long as your slow cooker will keep it warm. It won't dry out. It'll be delicious. So I will see you in about 6 hours, and we'll check this out, okay? All right, y'all. It's been several hours, and I checked this, and it is done. And I'm keeping it on warm right now, but let's take the top off and see what we've got. Ooh, y'all would not believe the smell in here. Now, let me just tell you that different mushrooms will give you a lighter or a darker, I guess, gravy in here. So if you look, sometimes it comes out lighter, sometimes it comes out darker. I can't always control it, but it's delicious whether it is light or dark. So you can serve your chicken in, chicken breast in one piece like that. But what I really like to do is just, look how tender that is. I mean, it is just falling apart. I like to shred it up a little bit for a couple of reasons. One, it does help to thicken the gravy up. And two, that gravy, if you'll shred it and leave it in there just a few more minutes, maybe 15, that chicken will soak up some of that gravy. And if it was going to be dry, it won't be. I know that some people don't like chicken breast because it does have a tendency to be dry because there's so little fat in it. If you would like to use chicken thighs, boneless skinless chicken thighs, feel free to do that. That's fine. My family doesn't like dark meat. And you could actually do this with boneless center cut pork chops. Those would be good. But any way you do it, it's going to come out so good. So you just take your 2 forks and shred it up if that's what you're going to do. And look at that. Absolutely yummy. Delicious. It smells so good. I don't tend to like brown food, so I'll usually sprinkle, a little parsley or something like that on top. But it is yum. So next thing that we do is we just need our ladle, our scoop, and you can serve this over rice, over noodles, over mashed potatoes, over toast, over biscuits, just about anything. So you do it whatever way you like best. I'm putting it over rice today because I had some leftover rice that needs to get eaten up. But y'all, look at that. Just put that right up there, and so good. Y'all, I put this over rice, like you saw me put it over rice, and the rice soaks up the gravy. It's so good, and it's a great way to stretch a little bit of chicken. My recipe calls for about, like I said, 2.5 pounds, but you can get away with a lot less than that and just use more rice as a filler. Okay, it's easy to make, it's delicious, pure comfort food right here. Oh my gosh, so good. So I just wanted to take a minute and talk to y'all about where I've been and why I haven't, why there's such a big gap between videos. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So at the beginning of the year, in January, I got COVID, and then in February, I went to visit 2 of my sons. In March, I went to visit my other son. In the end of March, we found out that my oldest daughter has a cancerous brain tumor. And so we have been getting her to her appointments and getting that taken care of, got her moved in with us. We went to, my husband and I had a trip to Italy planned, and so one of my sons came and stayed with my daughter so we could do that. And then I got back from the trip to Italy, and my husband had to go to have his back checked out by a specialist to decide whether they wanted to do back surgery or not. And then one of my sons was moving, and he needed somebody to babysit because it was a out-of-state move. Anyway, all of that to say, I haven't been here a whole lot, but it's not because I don't love it. It's not because I don't love y'all. It's just purely that life has gotten in the way. But as far as I know, I'm back, and I hope you'll stick around too, okay? All right, y'all. Make this. Seriously. This is so good. and I know you'll love it. Come back next week. I promise you I'll be here. And I love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and sign up for the email so you can, know what's going on all the time. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.